Hi there, it's Nicole here from Mama Elephant, and today's card features some of my very favorites from the September Mama Elephant release. This is the Me and My Yeti Stamps and Dies and the Sentiments from Yeti Stamps and Dies. Awesome, awesome images, so much fun, perfect for creating adorable scenes and other types of cards, tags, bags. There are so many things you can do with this cute little Yeti. He's just adorable. I knew immediately that I wanted to use the mountain border dies from Mama Elephant to create my scene here so that he can kind of be peeking up over the mountain range down on this little village with cute little kids running around ready for Christmas. I like to lay out all of the images I'm going to be using kind of ahead of time, dies as well in this case. It gives me a good idea of what's going to fit and what's not, kind of where the direction I'm going with the card. So I'm kind of carefully picking everything up here. I know a little bit of it is off camera because I'm sticking it in my MISTI so that I don't lose any of those small stamps while I work on my background. I've got two panels here, one A2 sized rectangle that is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, another one that I took and die cut my mountain border from. That one is not going to be inked very much. I'm only inking up about the top half of my background using Salty Ocean Distress ink. This is creating my sky here up above the mountain range. Trying to get a nice blend. I did use Nina's Smooth White Cardstock, nothing special here. I used a light hand to hopefully not get any of those awful ink foam blending marks that you can sometimes get. It wasn't quite as dark as I wanted it to be, so I went ahead and went in with Blueprint Sketch, which deepens it up. It almost has a purple hue to it. I love this color, and I like how it looks blended with Salty Ocean. I'll go back with Salty Ocean and blend that out where the two colors meet. Spritz this with water from a distress sprayer. This is automatically going to give the look of falling snow in the background. I'm going to set that aside. I didn't even blot it dry with a paper towel. And very, very lightly, just along the top edge of the mountain range, I'm going to apply some Tumbled Glass Distress ink just to give it a hint of color. I'm going to put snow caps on these mountains, so some of that will disappear and it'll be even lighter, but it gives it a nice hint of color. Here are those snow caps I was talking about, die cut from Simon Says Stamp White Glitter Cardstock. I love this cardstock. It die cuts phenomenally. It looks fantastic for holiday projects, anything you want to add some glitter to. So, so pretty. And this is going to make the top of my mountain range glittery without having to do any extra work. I'm attaching these with some glue dots, and I think automatically it makes the mountain range so much more interesting to look at. Add that last one. They line up perfectly, which I really like. A different one for each mountain. My plan all along was to have the Yeti kind of popping out from back behind there so that he's peeking out from over the mountains. I am ready now to stamp all the images I'm going to use. I started with this assortment, and once I had these all colored and die cut, I realized I needed a few more. So in a little bit, I will be adding some additional elements to really fill in the scene. The banner from Sentiments from Yeti is fantastic. The greeting and the banner are separate, meaning if you want to stamp something different, there's also peace that you could put in there. You could stamp little icons if you wanted to. You can customize that banner however you want. I love the Yeti image. There's two different ones in the Me and My Yeti stamp set. The one where his arms will die cut with the coordinating die so he can hold on to things. And then the one where his arms are open, which is the perfect way to hold on to this banner. So he's going to be peeking out over the mountain range, holding on to this Mary banner, which is part of the greeting for the card. You might notice on the mountain range, I have stamped and embossed a greeting. My camera shut off for whatever reason and I didn't realize it. I apologize. I stamped the greeting from Sentiments from Yeti with Versamark ink and heat embossed with some silver embossing powder. So that's going to be the rest of the sentiment for the front of the card. The Yeti is, I'm coloring him in my standard Yeti colors, the colors I personally really like. I've seen some other color combinations that I want to try out, but I tend to always gravitate back towards this. Some very, very light blue colors, B00, 00, 00, and even a little 02 here and there. I'm going to go back and add a little bit of that. His face, some gray with warm gray 1, 5, and 7. Here's that little bit darker color. Blend that all out. He's just super cute. I love these Yeti images. I've used them a lot for a lot of different projects for this month just because I can't get enough. I think they would be cute for winter cards or winter birthdays. Have him hold some balloons in one of those hands. He could work for lots of different things, not just the holidays. The little heart pads of his paws, I'm coloring in with some red colors, are 05, 27, and 46. His cheeks, I did pinken up just a little bit with our 00. And the horns on top of his head I'll come back to in a little bit, but just some grays and blues for those. I guess I'll do them now. I thought I came back to them, but no. And I guess I kept these all to blues. I apologize. It's my other card that I put a little blue in there. The trees are going to be in yellow-green colors. This is one of my favorite color combinations for trees. YG 95, 97, and 99. For the snow caps on the top of the trees, I'm going to go with a little warm gray 1. Just to give a tiny hint of shading. I don't really want to fill them in completely with the gray color, but I don't want them to be flat white either. Once I have done that, I'll go back in a little bit and add the Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen to anything that has snow on it. The tops of the trees, things like that. That way, if they're glittery, it kind of matches the look of the snow caps on the mountains. The banner is going to be all red. You could color each little pennant there or banner a different color if you wanted to. Lots of different ways to do this. I decided to stick with red. There is a lot of color going on in this card with all the little houses and trees and the little kids running around. Just a really adorable set. Going from darkest to lightest on my banner, so the top color is R46, mid-tone R27, blending into R05, which the R05 has a lot more of an orange tint to it, I would say. So it's going to lighten up really nicely. I went over the banner with the Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen as well, so it has a little bit of glittery glimmer. Go ahead and fill in faces. The kids' colors are E0011 with R20 for the cheeks. I tried to use R00, not near enough pink. They're such small images. You don't have to do a ton of blending. I switched up my green here. This is a lot more, instead of kind of the tree green, this is a little bit more grass green, I guess I would call it, with YG01 and 17. Back to my reds for parts of his hat and scarf. The trim on his hat and the pom-pom is green. His pants are, I wanted them to look kind of like blue jeans. They're B21 and 24. And the hair, E55 and E57 Shoes, warm gray 7. That's one of the colors I used for Yeti. It was already out on my desk, so I just grabbed it. Her hat and jacket color are RV 52 and 55. Her hair is a couple of light shades of brown. Very, very light. I kept her hair just a tiny bit lighter. Again, blue jean pants with B21 and 24. Green trim on her hat as well with YG01 and 17. And her shoes, warm gray 7. The star at the top of the Christmas tree is Y11 and Y08. And then I'm ready to color in these two houses, and then the original images I stamped are going to be finished. I decided not to pull any additional colors out, so I went with the pinks for the house itself and the chimney, which is RV 52 and 55. The roof, I went with the hair colors I used for the boy and girl, E55 and E57. Filled in the windows of the house with Y08. And the little door is going to be green with YG01 and 17. For the other little house, some shades of blue with B21 and B24. Again, the roof is going to be my brown shades with E55 and E57. And fill in the lights coming from the house with Y08. I'm going to die cut all of those now with the coordinating dies. You can see how cute my Yeti is peeking out from that mountain range. He's going to be holding on to that banner. Pop out the rest of these little images. I'm using Post-it tape to hold them in place while I run them through my machine. Lots of little trees. I want this to really appear to be like a little village down here. He's popped up, peeking over the mountain range, looking at this little Christmas village. Now, the boy and girl who face each other, I'm going to have them kind of on either side of my stamped greeting and fill in out around that with houses and trees. And there's going to be a snowman, another little girl, and then finally finishing with a little bit of hearts coming up from the village. But because this is a mountain range, there's a little mountain range image from the Me and My Yeti stamp set, and I thought it would be cool to look like we've got the mountain range in the background, the Yeti peeking out over it, and then in the foreground of the card, some more little mountains, almost like they're down in this little valley. This little Christmas village is down in a valley between the mountains. So that's kind of my thinking for this. And that's why I stamped two of them. They're going to kind of go on either side of the greeting down near the front of the card, down near the bottom edge. So imagine it that you're kind of looking in at the scene from the front, and there's these little mountains here, then the little Christmas village, and then these big mountains out in the distance with the Yeti peeking out over them. Again, I've listed the colors that I'm using for each area of this card along the left side of the screen, keeping very much with the same colors. Anything I've used before is what I'm using now. I did not grab anything different. I just kind of mixed it up, maybe what I'm coloring. But I really felt like I needed more images from the set to really fill in this scene. Cute, cute, this little girl, the one that has the red and the little pigtails sticking out, she is kind of a sitting image. So she looks like she's sitting on top of something. When you can place her on all kinds of things. On the Yeti's head, she could be sitting on anything really. And I just think it's really cute and clever. And then there's like the little boy with his hands thrown up in the air, you know, maybe excited to see the Yeti. Maybe scared, who knows. The snowman I thought would be a nice addition to the Christmas village, kind of like these kids are out playing in the snow. There was another little house image. I went ahead. I tend to like my embellishments in groups of 3. I did 2 houses before, and it's kind of funny I didn't go ahead and do this one too. So I am going to do it now. Go ahead and die cut all of these with the coordinating dies, just like before. I like to, because they're so small, I like to hold them in place with Post-it tape and then die cut them. Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen for the tops of the mountains. And I did do this big snowball, which I didn't show coloring, but same colors as the Yeti with those really light blue colors. And the little girl's going to be sitting on this ginormous snowball, almost like Yeti rolled it down here into the valley, and she's sitting on top of it. I'm kind of laying everything out, seeing if I like how it looks, and then I'm going to put it all together. To help with the dimension, I'm going to pop up my mountain range with foam adhesive. And before I put too much foam adhesive there, I'm going to make sure I get my Yeti in place. And he's going to be popped up a little bit too, so I'm just fixing my foam tape to fit here on the back. That way it is all nice and flat. Peel off the backing paper from all of this. And then I'm going to pop that along the bottom edge of my background. Go over his eyes with a black gel pen to make them pop. Have him hold his banner there over the mountain range. Starting with the small mountains now, I'm going to place those on either side and then start filling in the village. The boy and girl who look like they're facing each other, like I mentioned, they're going to be on either side of my greeting. And then I'm going to fill in with a scattering of trees. The snowball sitting next to the little houses. More trees here and there. The snowman, and just kind of move things around until I get it the way I want it to look. Lots of great ways to use all these cute little images. I'm using some Zotz Bling glue dots to attach all of these little teeny tiny images. I've had some questions from a couple of viewers, I guess in the last couple weeks, asking about glue dots. I personally really like them. They're super sticky, and for little die cut images or sequins especially, things that you maybe can't use a tape runner on, I really prefer to use glue dots as opposed to a liquid adhesive. I tend to be really messy with liquid adhesive. You might not be. It's completely just a personal preference. The glue dots don't have any liquid seeping out from underneath, and so for me, they're just a great solution for that. I'm going to put some Wink of Stella on the little hearts coming up from the chimney in the one house. Anywhere else that needs a little Wink of Stella, a little glitter, I'm going to go over real quick. Place some glossy accents over the hearts and the star on the top of the tree. I'm putting adhesive on a white side fold card base and then taking my panel and attaching that right to my card base. And that is going to finish up the Me and My Yeti card featuring the Mama Elephant stamps and dies from the September 2017 release. Thanks for joining me today for this Christmas themed card. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Mama Elephant that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.